Good morning from all of us in Las Vegas to wherever you may be watching. We are so excited to present you with the 2018 Mountain West Tournament coming to you live exclusively on Facebook all day today. We are here at the Thomas and Mack Center. We are starting this three-game day off with number 9 Air Force versus number 8 UNLV right here on UNLV's home court in Las Vegas, and we couldn't be more excited to bring it to you today exclusively on Facebook. Hey everybody, I am Kristen Balboni. I will be your sideline and your social media reporter for the day. I will be joined in just a few minutes by my partners. We got Ari Wolf on play-by-play. We got Doug Gottlieb as our analyst, and we are very excited. So, for those of you who have never watched one of our broadcasts before, we've done a lot of these Mountain West games, but just in case, I'll refamiliarize you with what to expect. Here's the cool thing. You are so much a part of all of these broadcasts today. You are going to be a part of this Mountain West tournament. So here's how you can be a part. You can comment. You can see the comments scrolling depending on how you're watching. You can see the comments scrolling below you or beside you in this broadcast. And those aren't just for show. I'm going to be reading them all game. Our announcers are going to be reading them all game. We got a lot of stuff set up to ask you, for you to weigh in on. It's going to be a lot of fun, so keep those comments coming. Maybe let us know where you're watching from right now. We want to hear from you. You can also post on Instagram. The hashtag for today is MWMadness, and we are expecting a very mad day as we've got 3 games back to back to back to back. Okay. The first game that we're starting out with that you are watching right now is number 9 Air Force versus number 8 UNLV. UNLV started out hot, but has recently had 5 straight losses. They are looking to rebound today versus Air Force. We've got Brandon McCoy, who is the Mountain West Freshman of the Year, leading things for UNLV. Now, the last tournament meeting between these two teams was in 2016, the first round. UNLV won that one triple overtime, 108 to 102. So we are expecting a good one here today, that 8 versus 9 matchup. Following this game, we've got number 10 Colorado State, which was 4-14 in Mountain West play, versus number 7 Utah State, the Aggies, 8-10 in conference play. Last year, Colorado State was the Mountain West tournament runner-up. They have had some struggles. This year, they will be looking to return to glory today. And then we've got Sam Merrill leading Mountain West play in 3-point field goal percentage, and all of his Utah State teammates, Kobe McEwen. Very much looking forward to that game. And finally, we finish out the day with number 11, San Jose State, Jean Prilo's team, facing the Pokes, number 6 Wyoming, who are 10-8 in conference play. Alan Herndon leading that team, coming in. And we've got a great one. This is the first meeting in Mountain West tournament, so we hope you'll stick with us for all 3 games. But here's the thing, we know you got a lot going on today. It's a weekday, so there's gonna be some times that you might have to stop for a minute and come back. Here's how you get back on the game. It's right here on your monitor. You can also tell your friends, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go search Stadium Live College Basketball. You can see it right here, it's super easy. Stadium Live College Basketball on Facebook. You're gonna click on Stadium Live College Basketball. You've selected it, and then you pick which game you wanna watch. Like I said, we've got 3 games today, starting with this one. You just click it right there, and you are in the comments. We can't wait to have you. And here's the cool thing, you can go back and say you missed a little bit. You can go back and watch this game after it has aired. You won't get that anywhere else. So it is as simple as that. We hope that you will watch. We hope that you'll stay here all tournament long. I want to know where everyone is watching from, because my partner Ari Wolf made a great point today. He said, you know, it's the middle of the day, so are you watching from your office? I don't know. Let us know in the comments below where you're watching and who you are rooting for. I'm going to be checking those comments, so make sure you stay with us all day long.
What you just saw! Oh my goodness! It's going to be all over every news channel tonight.
Welcome to Mountain West Hoops, presented exclusively on Facebook. The Mountain West Men's Basketball Championships in Las Vegas. A great look at the Strip. And we are inside the Thomas & Mack Center. You can see we're just about 440 away from the tip. Number 9 seed Air Force taking on number 8 seed UNLV. All right, Wolf, alongside this college basketball expert, Doug Gottlieb. And Doug, yeah, that's you.
Sorry, right.
Two teams coming in with very different perspectives heading this tournament. Let's start with UNLV, the 8 seed. Coach Marvin Menzies got to be more than a coach this week. He's got to be a psychologist, a therapist, because they're coming off 5 straight losses. 2 weeks ago, this team thought it wasn't going to play till tomorrow and get a bye. How do they turn it around quickly?
Well, they better wake up. I mean, you're taking on an Air Force squad. They get up at 6 a.m. every day. This 11 a.m. local start. You better wake up and get ready, because Air Force, we'll get to them in a second, coming off their first road win in a couple of years in the Mountain West Conference. But UNLV was getting better. They go down to Montezuma Mesa, get thumped by San Diego State. And whether it's finger pointing or lack of effort or just a little bit of bad luck, they've been awful. I was trying to watch the games and try and figure out who the one guy is to blame. Yeah. Blame all of them. But they're better than those 5 losses.
Oh, yeah.
And hope springs eternal here playing at home. A shot at arch rival Nevada. If you win this game, I can't explain it other than a culmination of some inexperience in playing in meaningful games. The fact the Mountain West is a little bit better than I think the nation thinks it is, and this team has not reacted well to the recent adversity.
Now, Air Force is a team that has some confidence. They have an outstanding sophomore class led by Lavelle Scotty. That group of sophomores can give UNLV some trouble.
No question. They've played UNLV twice, lost UNLV twice, but both were 1-point games in the last couple of minutes of the game. Lavelle Scotty, 6'6" sophomore from Arlington Heights, outside of Dallas. And he's the type of versatile forward who's going to drag away the big men for UNLV from the basket, make them cover on the perimeter, which is not what they do best.
And for UNLV, they have 2 of the best big men in all of college basketball, particularly in the Mountain West. They've got the true freshman in Brandon McCoy, who made first team all-conference, Mountain West freshman of the year. But we're going to focus on Shakur Houston, who is last year's junior college national player of the year, and he's a stud.
I think he's terrific. Look, he has to develop some perimeter skills in terms of shooting the basketball from greater than 17 feet, but he's unbelievable around the basket. He's a quick jumper. He's got great hands. He finishes seemingly everything at the rim. He's also a willing passer to Brandon McCoy, the other freshman big. I think Shakur Houston is fantastic. Now, it's going to be a challenge to cover this Air Force Princeton-style offense, but I would expect Houston to have a big day at his own offensive end.
He could physically dominate if he wants all throughout. That is our opening game. And now for more, let's go to Kristen.
Well, Ari just mentioned dominating. Here is how you can dominate during this broadcast. We want to show you. We want to hear these comments. I am already seeing the comments rolling in. I saw Garrett Mosier said he's got an exam in an hour. Garrett, thanks for tuning in. Now, speaking of the fact that we're playing in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, I want you to send me your Instagram pictures. You can use the hashtag MWMadness. Tag them on Instagram and show us all how you're watching. You know, usually we get a lot of pictures of everyone watching at home. I want to see you in your office. I want to see where you're watching from. We started it out right here. We started with the hashtag MWMadness. Now here is what the announcers and I are going to do. We're going to take a picture before each game. We look pretty fresh and ready to go right here. But we'll see how we end up after game 3. So again, that hashtag is MWMadness. Join us on the Instagram party. Send in your Instagram pictures, and we will be showing them throughout this game and throughout the day. So again, keep that hashtag coming all throughout the day. Guys.
They may have to prop us up by game 3.
We promise. It's like we act like we're not playing in the game. It's Dave Filipovich, longtime coach at Air Force.
Longtime coach, 6th season at Air Force. He is always positive, and he has a very deep bench. Seipels has dealt with some injuries. Guy to watch here, Trevor Lyons, has been Mr. Consistency. His older brother, Michael Lyons, was a star at Air Force. The Lyons brothers have had a huge impact on the program up in Colorado Springs. Now we'll take a look down the other end of the court, and we talked about Marvin Menzies. What has he done to get these guys ready? Because it has been a tough couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, they were 8-5 in conference play. They'll lean on Jordan Johnson. He's their senior point guard. Javon Mooring is considered by Air Force, they call him the Falcon Killer. He has great games against him. If he can shoot the ball well from the outside, that should open things up in the interior for the big boys.
And every time it's gotten close between these two teams, Mooring has hit big shots. And, of course, we'd even talk about the big fella in the middle. What Brandon McCoy can bring to the table 10 years ago, 15 years ago, would be a top 10 first-round NBA draft pick. A very young, very skilled, back-to-the-basket scorer at center. But he struggles at times to be on the perimeter. He's not a perimeter shooter, and to guard this Air Force style is not what he's best at. On the other hand, he should be able to score buckets at will down low. So if McCoy it's going to be a feast or famine day, I feel like, for UNLV. McCoy could have 25. If he doesn't have 25, UNLV may have to go to a much smaller look.
And I think I'm very curious these first 5 minutes to see whether UNLV has a sense of urgency, given what they've been through. And again, we're not making light of it. Air Force is up at 5 a.m. every day.
Yep.
This is an 11 a.m. tip-off. I'm curious to see how UNLV reacts to the morning tip.
Looking at senior Sid Tomes, of course, one of the seniors who, you don't want this to be your last game. That's one of the things that I was always in our head when we would get to a tournament and you'd have seniors. Hey, man, do you want this to be your last game?
No. I think that's fair. Nobody wants it.
Literally, this will be one team's last game, and some of these guys' last time they'll ever play in a competitive basketball game outside of a men's league.
UNLV with the basketball, go underneath, and it's McCoy. Nice look from Javon Mooring.
Now Marvin Menzie is going to press a 2-2-1 and fall back. And the reason you do this is you don't want to guard Air Force for 25 seconds in the half court.
You think it's also a little bit just get your guys engaged defensively early?
Yeah, but some of it. But I think a lot of it is it's just smart to only guard one or two of their actions.
That's a very nice move by Lavelle Scotty, because Houston is a good defender.
Lavelle Scotty's got an incredible personal story. His dad was actually a gangbanger in Long Beach until he found out his mom was pregnant, gave up the game, and Lavelle Scott hasn't been an easy childhood, but what a great kid he's become representing our country with the Air Force Academy.
Houston can't hold on to it. It's Trevor Lyons on the move. Lost it on the way up. Here come the Running Rebels.
Well, you know he's gotten off to good starts, especially when they played Air Force here. It was a 15-2 run to start the game.
Jumper no good. The first win for UNLV came on January 10th. Second win came on February 14th. 81-76 and 81-73, so both games were competitive.
Here's that Princeton style. That's called chin. It's called elbow. You hit the elbow, and there's action off of it. Air Force, the reputation precedes them as a better shooting team than the actual numbers would tell you.
They got to get something up here, and the floater, nope. And Johnson corrals the loose ball for UNLV. Free on the way, count it. Travell Beck, they really like this true freshman. Most of the season, he was their top scorer off the bench, now starting his 12th game of the year. Seipels will launch the three, and that's way off. Not really his game, only shoots at 22% from beyond the arc. And I'm going to say jump it up, possession to the Falcons.
Javon Mooring's not known as a great passer, but this is an outstanding look. And, this is the Travell Beck three. That's only Beck's 8th three of the year. He was open for a reason. That's the scouting report, but as you said, getting more minutes here late in the season.
He's going to take it again. That's back-to-back air balls.
Well, he's got a hitch in his shot. Again, open for a reason.
The lob to Houston, yes. Shakur Houston, his first points. Two-time Mountain West Player of the Week this season. He made second team all-conference. foul on the Running Rebels.
Just an outstanding look as Jordan Johnson, who is a lightning-quick point guard and a pretty good three-point shooter. He's much better in transition at times than he is in the half court. Sometimes his lack of size, and you saw him get his shot blocked when he drove to the basket. But when given space, you can pass that basket.
He certainly can. A couple years ago when he was at UW-Milwaukee, 8.1 assists per game, second best in the country. Swan can't hit the three, and he nails it. Ryan Swan, he's a big guy, shoots it at 41% from beyond the arc.
Right, and that's how they're going to have to beat UNLV, is get Brandon McCoy out from the basket, make him guard Swan. Swan wasn't really on balance that much on that shot, but still had his eyes on it and made it.
McCoy, tough shot, tried to draw the foul, goes and gets it. Basket and the foul. But he certainly seems engaged early.
Well, look, Brandon McCoy, the reputation is always goes over the other shoulder, and that's the reason. But even though it wasn't a good shot, at least he tracks down, gets the N1. You mentioned the engagement. That's his second bucket. He'll get a chance for his 5th point. Shakur Houston's got a layup in transition. UNLV, you had to wonder how they would come out here 11 in the morning. So far, so good.
And we have a special guest who's joined us over here at the table, Kristen Balboni.
That's right. I'm enjoying being at the table. You guys were mentioning the engagement. I got a little engagement for you on Facebook. I said that we were going to be. I know that was cheesy. That was cheesy. Don't.
It's okay.
We got 3 games.
I'm not going to get on you, but
game,
like, look, I'm going to have some cheese ball lines here.
Yeah. We got 7 out.
Yeah, by the 3rd game.
Don't apologize for being Balby. Let's get to the game.
You know I'm cheesy. All right, we got some comments. I asked everyone where they were watching from. We said we're going to be reading your comments all game long. Jennifer is watching from Los Alamos, New Mexico. India,
Los Alamos, isn't that where they developed the atom bomb?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
stay safe.
India is watching from snowy New Jersey.
Yeah, the snow is now just coming into Connecticut, where we used to call home.
Yeah. Let's see, Scott, he's watching from Italy. He says, Forza UNLV. I don't speak Italian. Do either of you? I'm assuming that means go UNLV.
What was it?
Forza. Forza UNLV.
I'm not.
Let's hope.
Or ask somebody out there. Somebody will know.
Let us know.
Hey, more importantly, all right, so we're up to our 2nd country already.
We are up to our 2nd country. We know that Ari loves the international count, and that is something that you're only going to see on Facebook.
Well, plus, how many servicemen and women are serving abroad
are watching
the cadets?
Say, speaking of the Air Force, my brother is actually abroad in Germany right now with the Air Force. So
and he's watching, right?
So, I hope so. He might be at work, but I'll tell him to check in later.
What I find interesting, maybe somebody from the academy who's watching this, or somebody's in the Air Force. So if you look at all these players for the Air Force Academy, they're in different squadrons. Right? So I'm just wondering, like, are the squadrons like one Squadron 6, one Lavelle Scotty is Squadron 6, and I think Tomes is Squadron 7. Like, is there a rivalry between squadrons?
Right? Well, I don't want to speak for them. I don't want to speak for them.
Squadron signs, like gang signs, right? Is there good squadrons, bad squadrons?
I don't think that analogy has been made. They're the gang signs.
I just wonder. I meant like signs or like fraternities.
Right.
Are there rival squadrons like their rival fraternities?
10-5, running Rebels early. Game 1 of 3 games today. Mountain West opening day. This will be followed by number 10 Colorado State taking on number 7 Utah State, and then the nightcap Wyoming number 6 taking on San Jose State number 11 as Beck can't pick up the loose ball.
I have a problem with one thing. I like one big addition to Air Force in the Dave Filipovich era. Now he plays, you mentioned, a ridiculously deep bench, right? Because there are really no limitations to how many guys they can have on the squad. The names in the back of the jersey is such an improvement over the old school Air Force days.
Yes, at least for announcers. Jumper off, nice hustle by Swan. He knew exactly where that one was going to carry him. It's Van, leaves it short. Get it to McCoy, immediately double. Underneath, the reverse is good for Houston.
It's almost, you can almost guarantee 2 points when he gets it quick. There are a lot of similarities. He's not as big or as dominant as Larry Johnson. But remember, Larry Johnson was the JUCO Player of the Year. Larry Johnson was a power forward, not very skilled in the perimeter when he came here to UNLV. Of course, they were much better back then.
And we've got Cedric from Ontario for your international.
Oh, great. We're up to 3. My goal is 10.
Which Ontario, though? Could be Ontario.
Could be Ontario, California.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Either way, that counts as a country. So.
the 909 is a country unto itself.
The U.S.
Mooring the lob, and McCoy couldn't get to it.
Just stop and shoot the basketball. Javon Mooring's a good shooter. I think he got a little too cute trying to throw the alley-oop.
A nice steal by Houston. Immediately gets it out to Johnson. On the move, it's back, and pretty good defense, but they're going to need the foul call on Sid Tomes.
Shakur Houston, that's called the ghost position. So the post is the post. You get below that block. You get almost below the level of the backboard, and it's called being in ghost. And you do that because you can flatten out the defense, and if they help off of you, as you saw in that little dump off, you can still take one step and lay the basketball in.
So I got roasted pretty good on Saturday. You'll appreciate this because I know you've been never shy about having an opinion that doesn't jive necessarily with the national consensus.
Go ahead.
I like Shakur Houston more than Brandon McCoy, and not as an NBA player, just as a college basketball player. I love Houston.
Who roasted you?
People on social media. I thought I was out of my mind.
That's why they're on social media.
I wonder what people on social media are saying right now about that comment.
I love Houston.
There's been several articles locally about Brandon McCoy. The expectation is he declares the NBA draft. He might be taken, and he's going to have to completely transform his game.
Oh, yeah.
But to me, I think Houston has as a college player, it's not close to like Houston. And as a pro, having watched Houston start to evolve his shooting, the shooting numbers at the free throw line were terrible to start the year.
Yeah.
But they've gotten better. His shooting's not bad. I actually think he's got a very good chance. Another year here and a ton of work on his lateral movement and his jump shot. He could very well be a small ball 4-5.
I like it.
Long arms, big hands, very competitive. He does not carry an ego with him either.
Jacob Van, one of the best three-point field goal shooters in Air Force history, and he's coming off a big day. Senior day, he had 23 points and 7 assists.
Yeah, he's had a weird year because he doesn't really help them defensively.
Zhang knocks down the jumper. They don't get a lot of points out of Zhang, just 2 points per game. He gives him some good length, though. He's 6'11".
And that's always been the issue with Air Force's defense. No matter who the coach has been, they've struggled to defend. You can't have big guys join the Air Force, and because they play kind of a soft zone, they almost dare you to throw it inside.
That jumper's way off. Chris Clyburn, who only played 2 minutes on Saturday night against Utah State, he's in the game. He's their best on-ball defender, and he can shoot the three, too. Here he is. That one spins out. Caleb Morris, the rebound, part of that super sophomore class for Dave Pilipovich and the Falcons. Just to make myself feel slightly better, some of the comments coming in, they're all go Houston, go. They're with me. They think Houston's the man.
You can't react to social media. What are you doing? You know better than that.
I was just trying to provoke conversation.
So you didn't actually believe it?
Oh, no, I believe it. I've been on board with him the whole season. Clyburn, nicely done.
Clyburn should be able to do that more often. He's left-handed. He almost goes left almost solely. But he is a sinewy athlete who sometimes settles to try and prove he's a better shooter.
Tui is checked into the game, provides the screen for Lions, deflection. And Tui able to come up with it. Time on the shot clock. LaBelle Scotty nails the three.
Well, that's where the dribble penetration kills you. But UNLV did not need to help.
All right, Larry Joe Flores says, I'm an SDSU alumni and fan. Can't wait for my Aztecs to play tomorrow. But he's watching and supporting the Mountain West tournament. Thank you very much, Larry.
Now, San Diego State has gone the opposite way of UNLV.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
They're hot.
San Diego State seems to have figured it out.
And coming off a win against Nevada on Saturday night, the regular season champs.
It's kind of like you at the tables coming in hot last night.
Exactly.
Coming in hot. Here comes Ari Wolf.
Tui no on the three. Clyburn the rebound. Johnson gets bumped before the shot. Two teams will go talk to their respective coaching staffs, and we'll bring back in Kristen to continue the conversation.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you guys were talking about Brandon McCoy.
Yeah.
Ari with his thoughts there for social media. I want to talk about the all-conference awards that were just announced, and I want to see what you all think of them. Brandon McCoy, of course, being named Mountain West Freshman Player of the Year. I want to see what you all thought about them, and I want to see what everyone on Facebook thought about them. Did they get it right? Now, these are the coaches who voted. Did they get it right? Did
And
they
it
get
is
it wrong?
important to know there is a media poll as well, but we're
Yes.
going with the coaches
This
poll.
is the officially recognized poll here. Caleb Martin, Player of the Year. Eric Musselman, Coach of the Year. We got Brandon McCoy, you mentioned Freshman of the Year.
Why is Caleb Martin the Player of the Year?
That's my lead question.
I personally would have gone with Chandler Hutchins.
It's not even close to me.
And I believe the media
I
did.
think it's a little closer than you think, but
Hutchinson at times, to me, was clearly the best player in the conference.
yeah, I thought
And
he
that
was the
game
best.
against San Diego State, we went for 44 points. It was as good a performance as the conference saw all year.
Right, I mean, but we also called the game, the Utah State game, where he did score late, but he was pretty awful most of the game. So, I
Fair.
mean, he's not a perfect player.
Okay.
And then, you know, look, Caleb had a very good year, and there were moments which you watched Nevada, and he was terrific. I
Awesome.
like that Nevada squad a lot. I was actually pleasantly surprised that there was no real dip when they lost Lindsey Drew at the point. I personally would have voted for Chandler Hutchinson. That would have been the first thing.
Which is what the media said. Now we've got a couple here from Ken and also from Mike who say Jalen McDaniels, Freshman of the Year.
Could have been, but not against Brandon McCoy. In another year, McDaniels, he would have been a solid choice, but McCoy's numbers are, 17 points and 10 rebounds a game. I don't know how he doesn't, he's got to win. But here's my question. Paul Weir, what he did at New Mexico, I think you could say was more significant given the amount of talent that Musselman had at Nevada. They were projected to be number one. They delivered. He did what he was supposed to do. But what Paul Weir did at New Mexico, to me, was the true Coach of the Year performance.
I'm okay with that. And then won the last 5 games, another team coming in hot. Look, this league needs New Mexico to be good, needs San Diego State to be good, needs when having done the conference semifinals for a couple years, when you have New Mexico in contention for a high seed in the tournament, I hate the folks from the show coming in. If those two programs have been rejuvenated, both coming in winners of 5 and 6 in a row, I think you got a chance to have a great semifinal Saturday.
Jumper is short, foul underneath.
Can I read to you a couple of funny comments? Juan
sure.
says, I'm really trying to get some Carl's Jr., but I don't want to stop watching the game.
Why do you have to stop watching the game? Don't you have it on your phone? Facebook on your phone?
Kyle also says he's definitely not watching from his geology class. Wink, wink. Kyle, thanks for not tuning in during class.
Kyle, what class are you? What school do you attend?
Let's see what Kyle said. He might have said UNLV.
Okay.
Kyle, stop by after class is over.
I know the geology is super interesting.
I took geology.
I took geology in junior college at Golden West College. It was fascinating. I had no idea it'd be such an interesting class. Went out and saw fault lines in Southern California. So much great geological stuff when you go out into the desert here.
Good ball movement, and Morris drills the 3.
I mean, this is an honest, quick question. I don't know if we're supposed to do this, but we have to do 3 games. Food is going to be an issue.
Big issue.
Okay. And so I guess the question is, do we put it out on Facebook? Hey, if you want to sit with us and watch a game, if we
bring us food.
Correct.
Well, no, I think there should be some kind of a contest. We're not going to eat just anything, right?
Well, I actually know what I want to eat, and it's close.
Oh, Maury gets hit on the 3, and he's going to get 3 free throws.
I'd be okay with that.
Gabriel's watching in Germany. Gabriel, sorry, you cannot bring us food from Germany. That won't work.
But I like it. Another country, Kristen. Just keep adding them up.
Is that 4 now?
That's 4. Goals 10.
Noted.
And 10's a conservative. I think 12, 15. I mean, who knows? We've got 7 hours. We can get it in. Mooring to the free throw line.
We'll have Sweden when we have Wyoming, right?
Yep.
I'm trying to think what other countries we'll have.
Somebody from Martinique is going to be playing today.
So you could have France and Martinique.
Yeah.
Well, look, Javon Mooring can be a little streaky as a shooter. And he has, if you watch, the release is actually from right in the middle of his head. I think that's one of the reasons he can be a little streaky. But he is a willing big shot shooter.
Oh, yeah, he is. I mean, it's funny.
And the crazy thing is, they come in losers of 5 in a row, and we're talking about having their dauber down and not feeling good about themselves coming in. If I'm Nevada, that's the last thing I want is UNLV to feel good about themselves after beating Air Force and getting some of the kinks out, making this like a scrimmage game to get them feeling well, because they absolutely have the talent to compete with Nevada.
Oh, they beat them up in Nevada, I mean, right? So. And Solon into the game, a freshman for Air Force. There he is with it. Looked like a travel, no call. Manning, the drive, and the finish. Nicely done, Ryan Manning, Jr. from Sacramento. We got a watching from Italy, just got added.
Oh, I got a really good one.
Go ahead.
Bill is a Vegas native and UNLV alum watching from a sailboat anchored off the coast of Malaysia. Game time, 3 a.m. for him.
That wins. I can't imagine that
UNLV wins. He'll be watching from Thailand tomorrow. Shout out to Bill.
Now you're just bragging, dude.
Yeah, that sounds great. Invite us,
wait,
Bill.
Did he start a business here? I want more on this conversation.
Yeah, how did he get there? Because I want to know.
How did he get to the place? Like, is he just one of these guys that wants to sail around the world?
Hey, he's like a nomad. He's just looking for fun.
Or maybe he's super successful and this is like his dream. I'm going to sail around the world. Needed more information, Bill.
Amari Hardy. Nice pump fake. Gets the defender in the air, and they do not get the shot to the rim. So shot clock violation. But here's the most important breaking news, that UNLV gives away free tacos if they score 100, so our lunch problems could be solved.
Yeah, but they don't give away free tacos at the game.
Well, they
it's like a certificate for free tacos.
Couldn't somebody take their ticket, get the tacos, we'd be halftime of game 2. Over and back violation. We'll be right back after these words from the Mountain West Conference and these schools.
Rebels take chances and inspire action. Rebels are daring and diverse, curious and creative. Rebels are different, and in our differences, we come together to discover, to innovate, to succeed in a community like no other. We are UNLV. We are Rebels, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
For some of you will travel where no man has ever traveled before. Some of you will fly the fastest planes that have ever been built. I am impressed by the extraordinary scholastic record, unmatched by any new college or university in this country, by the students and graduates of this academy.
All right, welcome back into the Thomas and Mack opening game. Mountain West 2018 basketball tournament. Runner Rebels a 4-point lead. And Kristen, a hot topic is going on around the world of college basketball.
Yeah, well,
Hot
you know
topic.
what? It's also happening in our Facebook comments. So I am monitoring all of the Facebook comments. As you can tell, we are reading them. And a lot of people have been asking this question, including Adrian Guzman, who says, what do you guys think about Gonzaga possibly joining the Mountain West? That is, of course, you know, the articles have been coming out, the rumors have been swirling. So I want to know what you guys think, and then everyone on Facebook thinks. If you're a Mountain West fan, let us know.
A steal here. No one's going to catch him. Oh, but he misses the dunk, and it still goes in.
Lavelle Scotty playing the point of the 1-3-1 Air Force zone.
But Doug, let's go back to the Gonzaga thing.
Yes.
It's quite a shocking story. I mean,
Why?
just because I hadn't heard about it, and then Craig Thompson, the Mountain West commissioner, said, hey, this thing's been in the works for 6 months. That would be adding a top 10 team to the conference.
Well, I will only tell you this.
As Hardy drills the three.
Hardy makes the three. We've called several Mountain West games, and 2 of the Mountain West coaches actually told me. I thought maybe you weren't with me when we were having this discussion. They said, well, you know, we're trying to get Gonzaga in the league. And look, let's take a look real quickly at this Lavelle Scotty play. And we want to talk about a little blessed in the morning. You missed the dunk. It goes in anyway. Just the way he planned it.
Yeah.
I think it would be great for the league.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure I understand. I understand a little bit of Gonzaga's desire to look outside of the WCC. You know, how many times can you beat San Francisco and San Diego and Pepperdine? But it's like, look, that's a multi-bid league. This is a multi-bid league. I do think the ceiling is higher for the Mountain West.
Yes.
Assuming New Mexico and Paul Weir gets it back at least close to where Steve Alford had it. I do think San Diego State, I don't know if they'll be back to the peak of where they were a couple years ago, but there's no reason to believe they can't. They continue to recruit at a high level. And I think UNLV is in good shape. What's interesting is it's actually pretty much the same markets they play in now, only bigger schools, less private schools, more public, all public schools. So I don't know how
will
much
there be a ripple effect? Does that mean that BYU considers coming back to the Mountain West?
They obviously should.
Well, then all of a sudden you add Gonzaga and BYU, and this conference's RPI goes up. It helps the conference across the board.
It doesn't really have anything to do, I don't think, with the RPI. I think it has to do with TV, visibility, and remember the Mountain West TV contract coming up. And look, I think all options are on the table. I like the idea of, hey, why not ask? Because there was a time when Boise was going to go to the Big East. There was the thought that Gonzaga could play in the Big East if Boise was in the Big East.
Krista agrees with you on Facebook. She says, yes, our conference deserves more recognition, which is what you're saying that they
Well, look, conferences, what happened a couple years ago when you had New Mexico as the 3 seed. I think this is 5 years ago as Brandon McCoy. And this is where Brandon McCoy is going to have to improve. He shot fakes. You got to beat your guy laterally. You can't just kind of Debo and run him over. They got national recognition over a couple-year period, with the exception of San Diego State. They didn't really take advantage of it in the NCAA tournament. This league is it's just like any other league. If your elite teams are at the top and playing well and beating people and competing nationally, you'll be recognized as such. And that means the UNLVs, the New Mexicos, the San Diego States.
Have we seen the last of McCoy? 2 fouls, 5:40 to go first half?
Probably. I don't think that makes them worse, though, in this particular matchup. My point is, like, look, if they want to be recognized more, you got to win some games in the tournament. You got to win some games nationally.
It's been a minute.
And San Diego State had finally started to earn the respect they deserved. And then all of a sudden, they go through a tough year last year, coaching transition, tough year at times this year. Marvin Menzie, the coaching changes as well. I think ultimately when those two are good and when Mexico's good, I think the conference will be recognized as good as it actually is.
We have a top 10 matchup in lacrosse on Saturday. Number 3 Duke heads to Baltimore to take on number 7 Loyola of Maryland. You can catch this great matchup on Facebook Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Good defense there from the Running Rebels.
Cameron tells me, Cameron Heyer says, I'll bring Gottlieb and company dinner if I can sit with them during the games. He says Tacos El Gordo, Raising Cane's, Naked City Pizza.
Sounds great to me.
Really like a nice buffet selection would be
well,
nice.
I got a
More
friend
the merrier.
who suggests Soho Sushi Burrito. Have you ever been to Soho?
No.
Very good.
I went to Kaizen, the sushi place, last night. That place, I could work for them. And for free.
How do you not have your picture up in Kaizen as much as
I love
you
that
donate to
place.
Kaizen's, all the owner's kids' college fund?
Bump on the outside. 15 foul. I checked that. I was looking at UNLV.
Look at the
Air
block.
Force already into the bonus, so Mooring will shoot the one-on-one.
The block and the athleticism from UNLV defensively.
So do we have a consensus from the Facebook world on Gonzaga coming to the Mountain West?
It looked like most of the people who said they were Mountain West fans were in favor of it, but there were a couple that said, you know, we don't need them or watch out.
Oh, I definitely saw one person
the
say no thanks to BYU because they were
I saw
not
that for
beloved
sure.
when they were in the conference. But I think every conference needs a villain. And I think BYU
How is
played the
BYU
villain.
a villain? I don't
Well,
understand.
because people love to hate BYU like they love to hate Notre Dame.
Because some of the antics between BYU and Utah, is that?
And they just, you know, BYU carries themselves as though their program's special, that they're different. I mean, from the moment I joined this conference, BYU sort of holds themselves to a standard they think is different than everybody else. Whether that's right or wrong, fans love to root against them.
Well, Air Force holds themselves to a standard.
Yeah, but it's not
unlike
held
anybody
against
else.
them.
That's because they don't win.
That could be it. Some of it could be jealousy. Tui with the left hand. Yeah, one guy wrote, oh, Clyburn. Oh, good stuff. He said the real villain for BYU was Jimmer Fredette. The three rattles home. Caleb Morris already knocked down 2 triples.
And this is classic UNLV against Air Force, where you come out hot and then you kind of fall asleep at the wheel right before the half. Brandon McCoy in foul trouble, and now you got a 3-point game.
UNLV no field goals over the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds. That three way off. Clyburn tracks it down. Johnson penetrates. That's a loose ball. Look at the hustle from Cyprus.
Wow.
Oh, gets
What
the
a
two.
great
That's
play.
great hustle. C.J. Cyprus, the senior. You're talking about this could be his last game. I mean, there's a guy. This is it if he doesn't win.
It was almost like he had a rocket pack on his back. That was a loose ball. And UNLV, they go trotting back to get it. C.J. Seibels gathers it and unselfish enough to make the pass.
Mooring, deep triple. No, Clyburn's done a nice job. He's made some hustle plays. He's got Houston wide open for the throwdown. Houston's got half a dozen. How's this tempo? Favor either team?
Well, when it's up tempo, it obviously you'd think it favors UNLV. And Dion gets called for the foul. I mean, this is incredible hustle. Ball's on the loose floor. Everybody else is looking around and
a pretty bounce pass.
CJ just outran everybody, and then UNLV tracking the ball like moths to a light. They leave Tui wide open underneath the basket. This is one of those when you're at UNLV, everything was good and easy. Now you get super tight and you look up at the score, but wait, it's 3 points again?
All right, Kristen, what do you got for us?
Well, I just wanted to point out, of course, the Air Force fans know this, but senior Trevor Lyons, you know, you're talking about a lot today about guys who could be playing their last game, depending on how the game goes. This will actually, when he finishes up, it will actually end the Lions' legacy at Air Force. I just wanted to shout it out because it's so incredible for maybe some Mountain West fans who don't know. Michael Lyons Jr., his older brother, played from 2009 to 2013. He followed in his footsteps, not nearly as highly recruited. His only other offer was from Army. And he's come in and done a great job. And I think that this is a really incredible stat. Counting their time at the prep school, the Lyons brothers have played basketball on academy grounds for each of the past 10 seasons. So they don't have another brother, so this will come
This is
to
it.
an end. Yeah.
But I mean, both 1,000+ scorers. Michael Jr., 4th all-time in points. I mean, he was a stud. Trevor, 3rd all-time in steals. and both guys brought it every game. You never had to worry about effort with those guys. Very consistent.
First brothers in Mountain West history to score 1,000 points at the same school, which is pretty incredible. Just absolutely.
This is entering today's games. This combined number is impressive. Stadium is your new national sports network, the only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Live and classic games, daily live studio, original programming. Check your local listings or go to watchstadium.com and click where to watch. Stadium. Welcome to the game.
Well, I mean, look, let's get down to the Lions family and what it's really about. Incredible parents. Both their parents, served in the ROTC. Michael Sr., I believe, joined as a sophomore in college and served for nearly 3 decades, and then Dr. Lyons, that's
older sister.
Yeah, older sister. I mean, went to Old Dominion and played.
Yes.
This is an incredible family that values education and service, and then basketball as well. And to have that type of success, it comes down to the home. And it's a great story. We should celebrate more stories like this.
Absolutely.
And I read that Michael Lyons Sr. would try his best to fly to every game of Trevor's. He's not here today, but I'm sure he wishes he could be. Maybe he's out there watching.
Watching on Facebook.
Yeah.
And how about Trevor Lyons? He's now 9th all-time in games played, 117 games.
Incredible.
And his older brother started from first game he played at the academy.
His dad said, this is a great quote, I wrote it down, it's instilled structure in both of them. Academically, it's done well for them. It's not just for the 5-year commitment that they have, but beyond that. I mean, like, there's parents that get it, man.
Mooring, long jumper is good along 2.
And remember, when Michael Jr. joined the Air Force, we were in 2 wars. Like, it's one thing to say, hey, my parents were ROTC. As Lyons gets the layup on cue, a little UCLA cut. It's one thing to convince your kids, hey, I want you to consider service and going and playing college basketball. It's nothing to do so in a time of war.
Mooring steps up and he connects. Suddenly he's feeling it.
Well, he's the Air Force killer. It gets to a tie game, and you almost feel like they're going to find 30 in the white jersey.
He's got 9 points to lead the way for the running Rebels. Nice bounce pass to E, and he travels with it. He felt the presence of Brandon McCoy. McCoy, of course, former McDonald's All-American 5-star recruit.
This is like UCLA cut. UCLA screen. That's terrible defense from Brandon McCoy. Terrible defense from Jovan Mooring. Brandon McCoy's hearing it from his coaching staff.
And then Cyples gets the easy layup. Oh, Mooring lost the handle. Getting physical out there. Here come the Falcons. Bell Scotty wants to go coast to coast, but offensive foul.
Bell Scotty with a crossover, and then he tries to spin back on Clybourne. Clybourne guesses correctly. Clybourne, of course, his brother played at Utah and Iowa State. He has great length and athleticism. Should be a lockdown defender. Of course, got in the doghouse a little bit here recently for UNLV.
The lob, and McCoy able to get enough of it to steer it into the hoop.
Yeah, that was all Jordan Johnson, though. Just busting through the trap and throwing it to the rim. David Olson says Brandon McCoy can't guard anyone. If he leaves, he'll end up in the G League immediately. I actually completely agree with that.
3 no good for Morris.
It's so interesting. You said, hey, Brandon McCoy's got to be the freshman of the year because he averaged 17 and 10. And I generally tend to agree with you. But there are 2 ends to basketball. And if you think that it only matters when you get the bat, you only have the ball 5% of the time at most, maybe 10. If you're a great player as a guard, you'll have it a little bit more. He has to have a greater effect on the game when he doesn't have the ball.
Into the half, can they get off a shot? Coming up next, game number 2 of our triple header on Facebook. Number 7, Utah State tips off against number 10, Colorado State. That game is coming up next at 4:30 Eastern, exclusively on Facebook. All right, what do you like here with 2.5 seconds? What are you looking to create and for who?
Well, look, you're probably going to hit somebody in the middle of the court, and then have remember, you're going what's called an odd angle inbounds pass. It's right in front of us. So a lot of times, the last second shots that you practice all year long, you go length of the court or you go half court. So this is odd angle, so you might not have practiced it as often. But you're going to try and get the ball to somebody on your team, either down the sideline or in the middle of the court. You have plenty of time for 2 passes and then a shot. Pass to the middle, pass for a shot. You could also screen into that middle area and throw to the very weak side corner. And nobody's been guard lines. Excuse me.
Seipels, and he just misses it. So we're done with 20 minutes of hoop. UNLV with a 4-point lead.
But what just happened there?
Where was the defense?
Yeah, there's literally nobody. I mean, they're so fortunate that ball didn't go in, as CJ Seipels just stepped into a wide open 3.
I mean,
they just called timeout. I mean, I guess it's Tui's screen, but why is Clyburn going under the screen?
And Dembele just checked into the game. It seemed like he just wasn't sure what his assignment was there. He's got to get over the top of that. All right, let's go to Kristen.
Coach, Air Force made a run there in the second half to get it really close. What are you seeing from them?
Great shooting, as usual. They've struggled earlier in the year, but they're shooting the ball really well from the 3 now, and we're just not doing a good job of getting out the shooters. I mean, at the end of the half, they had a wide open 3. You know, and we got to stay connected and communicate a little bit better. But we knew it was going to be a war. That's what they're designed to do, is go to war. So it'll be a tough one. We're going to have to fight all the way to the end.
That's true. Now, what do you tell your guys to get them pumped up for the second half?
Just a little more discipline and defensively, and a little more. We got to increase our pace on offense. We're a little stagnant. We're seeing the zone and the ball's sticking a little bit. So we got to be more aggressive.
All right. Thank you so much for the time, Coach. We appreciate it. All right, well, all this season, UNLV has been celebrating the 60th anniversary of the university. So we are going to take you on a little trip down memory lane here at UNLV. We're going to see how the university started and what it's developed into today. Stick with us here at halftime.
We're on a roll now, and we can't slow down.
When I got here, we could run from class to class.
It was a tough uphill battle, but there were people here who realized we needed to have our own university down here. We were the larger city, we were fastest growing, we had untapped financial resources, and it was just time that Las Vegas got itself on the map in education.
The week I moved here, there was a big celebration in the town, and that was because it was the same week that Jerry Tarkanian moved here to become the coach.
All the top 10 teams that we play, they do the same dance, don't you know? 'Cause we move too quick, they're falling down like a domino. The other coaches don't know the first thing about towel etiquette. Tarkanian, oh, he knows. He snaps his teeth when the towel's wet. All the fans down in Vegas town say, Rebels, rebels, rebels. Walk like a Tarkanian.
For the first time, the community really felt pride in the university. It came out of the basketball program. And now I think it's evolved to the point where people understand that from the educational standpoint, it really has improved tremendously.
The university is finally starting to get credit for their work. I would say that's probably one of the most profound, noticeable movements. I see Tier 1. I see greatness.
I told someone earlier I want to be here for the 120th. Not sure I'll make it. Just in case I don't, happy birthday UNLV for 120.
I can tell you with absolute certainty that being the father of a family that has 4 UNLV degrees, that it's made a difference in our life over the last 60 years.
Well, it's just absolutely incredible to see UNLV's growth out here in the desert, and I absolutely loved the music in that piece. We're going to have a lot more fun stuff coming for you here at the Mountain West Tournament. Let's check in with Cassie Soto in the Mountain West studios right now for an update. Cassie?
The Mountain West will be well represented at the 2018 NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships in College Station, Texas on March 9th and 10th. Headlining this year's tournament are a couple of national champs who look to defend their title, New Mexico's Josh Kerr and Colorado State's Mustafa Hassan. If history repeats itself, Josh Kerr's 2018 indoor season is shaping up to look like much of his 2017 season, where he won the mile and helped anchor the Lobos distance medley relay team to a victory in back-to-back Mountain West indoor championships.
As much as everyone's saying that I did the best part of that, I did absolutely just the glory leg. Like, I made sure I executed my plan, and these other three boys worked their butts off to make sure that I had a great position. And you know, we came over with Utah State, and they put me in a perfect position to come away with a fast time and come away with a win. So, you know, all credit to my teammates, and they definitely made it a lot easier for me.
This time last year, Kerr was in the same position he is now.
They are off.
Preparing to go to NCAAs to compete in the mile. The only difference this year is that he has a title to defend.
Everyone's looking at me and watching what I'm doing, and I don't want to make any mistakes, but you know, it's so much fun. I've been working really hard to get that target on my back, and you know, like, having it is great. And
at last year's NCAAs, Kerr upset Oregon's Edward Chizeric to win the national title in the mile with a time of 4 minutes, 3.22 seconds, to become the first Lobo to win an NCAA title in the mile since 2010.
You know, it is great fun, but you know, there is that extra pressure, but at the same time, like, it's so much fun. It makes it all that interesting and exciting.
Also looking to defend his national title is three-time Mountain West indoor shot put champion Mustafa Hassan.
You can never expect anything at big meets. Like, that was my goal, but anything can happen on the day of the competition.
At NCAAs a year ago, Hassan's throw of 21.27 meters earned him a first-place finish. Feeling much of the pressures from last year, Hassan hopes his hard work and dedication will lead him to yet another national title to cap off his senior year.
Reigning NCAA champion, Mustafa Hassan.
It's a little more pressure this year. What I think about during training is that I just don't want to win it one time and then come back next year and just do averages. You want to finish off strong and stronger than last year. So that was what goes through my mind every day in training. I've done everything I can, and I'm better than last year, so that's the goal.
Once again, these athletes will take to the track or field on March 9th and 10th in College Station, Texas. This preview has been brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union, the official credit union of the Mountain West. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Cassie Soto.
As you see our score, UNLV leads Air Force 37-33 at halftime. College students throughout the country have made commitments to their education, but none more than the cadets at the Air Force Academy. If you visit Colorado Springs, you will find the best, the brightest, and the bravest.
Shotgun, been there for virtually the entire game. There's the blitz over the middle. Intercepted by Air Force. Weston Steelhammer, his sixth kick of the year.
You know, really, the thing that makes the United States Air Force Academy so unique is the commitment that the young men and young women make to go serve as leaders for their country.
People who are attracted here, I like to say they're the best, they're the brightest, and they're the bravest.
I mean, not many places you can go and play football, education, and get to jump out of planes, too.
Air Force Academy, different than other universities, I think, is the opportunity to come and be part of something bigger than yourselves.
I would say what makes this place different from everywhere else is we're all fighting the same fight. You've been through so much with them that they become your friends for life.
I believe it is the bonding that goes on with the cadets and how strong and powerful those friendships are.
Everyone works together in the squadron and they help each other out, and same with the academics. Like, everyone is there for each other.
But you can't get on those ESPN specials, just the bond I feel like we have.
Lean on your classmates, lean on your teammates, lean on your teachers to help you through this place, because everybody here wants you to succeed.
Here, I really felt like there was the sense of camaraderie that wasn't anything like I felt before at another school.
I see these guys all the time do things for each other I never saw any other team do.
The general population probably doesn't understand just, how much hard work the cadets put in.
Especially for intercollegiate athletes to be able to balance the demands that they have. It's absolutely extraordinary. That's why it makes them, indeed, unlike any other Division I athletes.
It's a tough balance for our student athletes, it really is, but that's what gives it meaning, and it's really part and parcel of who we are.
Our teams are excelling at the highest level, while our cadets are still doing incredible things in the classroom and doing incredible things from a military perspective.
Winning is important. When you are preparing to go serve in the world's greatest air and space force, we need to create a culture that places importance on winning, upholding the values, the core values of our Air Force: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. You can win the right way, and if we do that, then we're helping to produce the lieutenants that our Air Force needs. None of us got here and has been put in a position to succeed or be successful on our own. Somebody in some way, shape, or form enabled our success. In my life, at a lot of points in my life, somebody's taken the time to invest in my success. And so it is up to me now to pay it forward. And that's because this institution has continued to raise its game in the way that it goes about training, developing, and producing leaders.
You don't ever settle for how you were yesterday. You want to be better tomorrow, and that's a spirit that we take into our service later.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that feature. Always enjoy taking a look at the daily life and what the Air Force Academy goes through. Incredible men and women. Rejoined by the one and only Doug Gottlieb. And Doug, we saw a pretty entertaining first half. We saw two teams seemingly evenly matched. But what I thought you really nailed it on the head, when UNLV plays their game, when they've got energy, when they're having fun, they're the better team. But boy, if you let Air Force have a chance, they're going to jump at it.
No, look, some of basketball is just about energy and about effort. And I felt like Air Force kept fighting, whereas UNLV, it wasn't that they did anything terribly wrong, but they got to a point where they had about a 6-7 point lead, and let's throw an alley-oop that's not really open. Let's take a shot that's not a great shot. And what happens, and look, I'm not going to just crush Brandon McCoy here, even though we talked about him, and I think there's some difficulties in his game translating to the next level. But even at this level, he took 3 shots in the first half that were terrible shots. And when your leading scorer does that, now the next player does that. Now Mooring takes a bad shot.
Right.
And Houston takes a bad shot, although I don't think he took a bad shot.
Fair enough.
I think the point was they got a little bit selfish. Air Force kept attacking, made a couple more shots, and then McCoy got into foul trouble. It wasn't a house of cards, but it's a needless tight game for UNLV, even though athletically they're the more talented team.
All right, let's go to Kristen.
Coach, you guys made a run there. Coach Menzie said you came to do battle here today. How do you assess the first half for your team?
I definitely think we did, and we came to do battle. We've got to get back in transition. We've got to contain the ball better, and we've got to do a little better job fighting them on the glass. But I like where we're at right now, and I like the spirit of our team.
You go in with momentum, including that opportunity for that last second shot. How do you keep the momentum? What do you say to your players in the locker room to keep it going right here in the second half?
Well, they got 20 minutes to get 40 more. There's no tomorrow, so we got to come out and go.
All right, thank you so much for the time, Coach. We appreciate it. All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kristen, and thanks to Coach Pilipovich. So let's go to some highlights, Doug.
Well, I think the story for UNLV is when Jordan Johnson had the basketball, generally good things have happened. And you heard Marvin Menzie talk about the ball sticking. He's somebody who's a ball mover, not a ball stopper. He's been attacking the man, attacking the zone looks of Air Force. I think Jordan Johnson had an outstanding first half. Only 2 points, but 5 assists. For Air Force, we nailed it with Lavelle Scotty. He's been really good in transition. He's made this three to kind of keep the defense honest. And he's played within himself. And then blocking a shot, he also had a couple deflections. Lavelle Scotty had an outstanding first half for Air Force. One of the big reasons this is a 4-point game.
Hey, you take a look at those rebounding numbers. No surprise, UNLV dominating the glass, dominating second chance points. But Air Force, we talked about their deep bench, and their bench gave them some points in the first half.
That's par for the course because they play such a number of guys. And obviously Dave Filipovich, the use of Jacob Van coming off such a hot game against San Jose State. I was interested to see how much he played. He played 7 minutes in the first half. I thought Frank Toohey gave them really good minutes. He had a bucket more than anything, just kind of a glue guy setting screens, even though there's some athletic limitations there. He got a lot of it on his bench. For UNLV, it wasn't all terrible. You know, Clyburn, I think, still kind of searching for a way to get back in that starting lineup. Amari Hardy hit that one shot. To me, it's about this guy at the defensive end, and offensively, it's about taking the game as it comes to him. You see Eric Sanders, that's the gentleman in the brown suit coat, a great player at San Diego State, scored 2,000 points at San Diego State, whispering in his ear. He's been a tremendous leader and mentor in Brandon McCoy's year at UNLV.
We started our morning, I asked you, can Marvin Menzies be not just a coach, but a therapist and a psychologist for these young men to get their mind right? Do you think that he's done enough and that they're in the right mindset?
I don't know. Like, I'm not a body language expert. I don't love Brandon McCoy's body language here early out of the half. You know, pouting a little bit that he got 2 personal fouls. Like, if I sat over there and I had a chance, I'm going against Air Force, so I'm the best player on the court. Then I'm fired up. But that's also part of his kind of makeup is he doesn't have a super intense look on his face even when things are going well.
And he goes to work here with the left hand, can't finish. Air Force comes away with it.
And for Air Force, that's why you want to force Brandon McCoy to his left hand. Even though they gave him a dead layup, just kind of a little bit of sleep at the wheel, misses it.
Same starting 5 for both teams to start the second half.
McCoy's lack of movement within the zone and switching man. He can be a statue in there. We'll see if Air Force.
I was going to say lack of movement. He doesn't move at all.
Let's see if Air Force can take advantage of it.
Running Rebels with the basketball in a 4-point lead, and Mooring throws it to no one. Actually, John Sandler, the radio guy for UNLV.
Look, I think he jammed his thumb.
He's already got tape on that left hand.
Sorry, he shoots to the right one. I'm sure he'll get him up.
Isn't that the truth? Opening game of our triple header. I mean, Lions has been quiet.
It's almost as if Brandon McCoy is like willfully not doing anything defensively because he has 2 personal fouls.
Doesn't mean you can't get your hands up in the air, right? I mean, be a presence.
Chris says McCoy looks tired to me.
From what? But Shakur Houston not tired.
Never seen that guy any fatigue at all. Lions working off a baseline screen. Scotty likes it right there. I can give it right back to him. Instead, Seipels blows by, and McCoy gets the block. But there he gets active defensively. But a lazy pass. Falcons come the other way, and they're about to give it away. Tomes, the triple, no. Good matchup right here. Bell Scotty, Shakur Houston. Swan's jumper, nope. Seemed like they were in a hurry that trip. Johnson, and he's mugged. He'll go to the free throw line.
That actually is a felony in 3 states. I don't think this is one of them, though.
Coming up later tonight, I guess we can call that tonight, game number 3 of our triple header on Facebook. Number 6, Wyoming, takes on number 11, San Jose State. That game is coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern. The nightcap of 3 games that started at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on Facebook. Now Johnson knocks down the free throw. His assist total up to 6 already. Average 5.9 during the season.
Well, strong right-hand driver, an outstanding passer, and a pretty good on-ball defender. There are some times to which he gets a little bit sped up, and if you make him score, he can be a reluctant scorer. But overall, that's a really good player, and for a UNLV team that's been programmed in search of a point guard for a long time, he did a solid job.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, he'll be one and done. Senior transfer from UW-Milwaukee, former Panther. Swan got great position, and there McCoy did a good job. Just be big. Hardy, the 3. Yes! Amari Hardy. They're excited about this talented freshman. Timeout on the floor for Air Force as UNLV has jumped out to a 9-point lead. I don't know what Coach Menzie said to him at the break, Doug, but they've come out with some good energy.
Well, Amari Hardy, he was actually going to go to Oklahoma State, and when the coaching change happened, he got out of his letter. And I think the adjustment there has been moving him off the point. He's much more of a combo guard. But for UNLV, it started the defensive end. We mentioned that Brandon McCoy was kind of asleep the first couple possessions, and he blocks a shot. Now he's active. They get out and run, get a couple good looks. And now they got a 11-point lead, excuse me. Can you put the stake in them?
I mean, what kind of math are you doing? That's a 9-point lead.
Wait, is it 30? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was 45.
I mean,
I thought it was 45, 34.
I thought I was the dummy of the group. I mean,
see, that's why.
It's already a long day, and we still have 2.
I got sushi coming to our table, and you're going to give me the business, although I deserve it when I'm back.
All right, Kristen, what do you got?
Well, I want to remind everyone that they can post on Instagram using that hashtag MWMadness. We want to see, we got a lot of comments on Facebook about people watching, from class or driving somewhere or whatnot. Not driving, but riding somewhere with someone. But the point is you can watch anywhere. So I want to see where you are watching this time. And I also want to take us in. You've also been talking a lot about, what it means to be an Air Force cadet. So we have a little sample here, a day in the life of Frank Tui. We have his schedule. I want to see what everyone thinks. How many of these things would you be able to do on a daily basis?
I got to wake up.
6 a.m. wake up.
6 a.m. wake up's no fine.
Yeah.
That's fine for me. I have little kids. I'm a 5:30 a.m. My dog wakes me up 5:30.
All right.
Uniform inspection I'd struggle with.
Uniform inspection.
Breakfast we could do, right?
Here's my thing. Oh, and isn't that funny? It's all in military time. Here's my thing. You got a whole hour and you got 4 things before breakfast. That's where I would have a tough time. Breakfast isn't until 7, according to my notes. It's not on here. That would be tough for me. But then you got stuff that, advanced aerodynamics at 10:30. Then you still got team study, weights.
I would struggle with rudimentary aerodynamics, let alone advanced aerodynamics. Look, let's just be honest. They're smarter than us. Yeah. They're better people than us.
Hey, man, we'd be good at, lights out bedtime, right? We could do that.
That's actually a little late for me. 11 o'clock up at 6?
Yeah, that is
7 hours.
But it is really, we saw the halftime piece, but it's so incredible about, all of the student athletes. They're cadets, they're students, and they're athletes. And it's just, frankly, amazing. I'm tired just looking at that schedule.
Shot did not get off. Shot clock violation. All right, Tui.
Tui with a beautiful pass.
Morris the finish. There is Frank Tui, senior from Elmhurst, Illinois. Get it to McCoy all the way out there. They're going to double him. Johnson probes, bounce past Houston. Very nice.
But Johnson obviously gets credit rightfully for the assist and the penetration. and the patience that UNLV showed. Even Brandon McCoy, patiently catching it, seeing the double team, making the pass out of it. But Shakur Houston so good in that ghost position.
He knew immediately he could use the backboard as his friend, used it, got under there, got the reverse, didn't have to worry about the shot block.
Well, Marvin Menzie has his Rebels with an 11-point lead. He has a great way about him. With these young players, essentially a completely new team from last year.
They only won 11 games last year. If you would have said before this season started, you're going to win 19, have a chance to win 20, I think people would have said, we'll take that. But it's amazing because they did so well. You lose 5 straight coming in. Doesn't quite feel the same way. Kristen, what do you got?
It's all about, as they say, what have you done for me lately,
yes.
right? And how are things going lately? Well, I want to talk about the tournament since we are in the first game of the tournament. And it always feels like, you know, anything could happen at this time of the year. And Nevada is certainly the favorite. Coach Eric Musselman sitting behind us right now. I wonder if he'll hear this. Nevada is certainly the favorite to win this tournament. But, you know, Ari, as you pointed out in our pregame Facebook Live, if they don't win, they're getting into the tournament.
Oh, they're in.
We're good about that. So who else could make a run here? Who do you think is the likeliest team to take home the tournament title if it's not Nevada? And then, you know, we'd see 2 teams in the NCAA tournament.
Whoever Doug goes with, I'm going with somebody else.
And then let us know on Facebook as well. I want to know what everyone else says.
Boise.
Yeah. Absolutely. You think that's the only one that's really...
No, you said that wasn't the question. I answered the question as it was formed.
I did, and then I pinned you into a corner.
My sleeper's the Aztecs. They're hot, they're playing well, they're coming in with a whole bunch of confidence.
I completely agree. The problem becomes their road to get there is really, really difficult. Yeah. First you got Fresno State before you can even get to the possibility of taking on Nevada.
Yep.
And then you would have some combination of New Mexico, Wyoming, or Boise would be my guess. Maybe Utah State, although I don't see that. I mean, I think Utah State prohibitive favorite over Colorado State that's faced some turmoil this year with the 2 coaching changes. You know, and Fresno's a team we're not talking about. My problem with Fresno and San Diego State is what they have to go through just to get here.
Yeah, good point.
A lot of people are saying San Diego State. I saw someone agreed with you. And then I saw one that just said, I'm sorry, they're scrolling so fast, people are really chiming in. So someone said, UNLV. I'm guessing that's a UNLV fan.
Hey, and if there's a team playing today that can win it all, I think Wyoming's got a chance if they shoot the ball well.
Patrick says Boise's year this year pokes in a spoiler.
Yeah, my hotel last night, the Pope band came out.
4 years ago when Wyoming won it, right?
Yeah, with Larry Nance and company.
Outstanding defense by UNLV. Out of a timeout, very physical, and everyone kind of paying attention. See if they can stick the stake in the heart of a... That was a terrible pass.
Terrible pass. And then Van gives it right back. And look at McCoy run the floor, reward the big fella. No, not required.
But you're right. You know, when Brandon McCoy, you made the bad pass to Brandon McCoy, flip it over your shoulder, let him dunk and feel good about himself. Now, UNLV is so dependent on Brandon McCoy to protect the rim that they end up giving up layup after layup anytime he comes out.
11-0 run for the Running Rebels over the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, unlike the Air Force teams of years past, this team can score in bunches if they have to. They used to try to win games 48-47. So that basket by Van ends the 11-0 run and converts the 3-point play.
Well, he's had a mercurial final season here for Air Force. Statistically, much better year. Played many more minutes last year. Only averaged about 15 minutes a game. But Air Force broke that 24-game consecutive losing streak in Mountain West play as McCoy gets the alley-oop from Jordan Johnson. He was a huge reason why with 6 threes.
How about this? Johnson's got 9 assists already, Doug. We still got more than 14 minutes to go. That's a senior saying, hey, man, we got to win or we're done. Tui, yes. Frank Tui, the triple.
Woke up at 6 a.m. this morning, according to his schedule.
I mean, Frank Tuohy's going to be a beast in Air Force pickup games years to come, but he just got ragdolled.
McCoy can't finish. Numbers for the Falcons. Tuohy's right there. Can he do it again? I missed that one. Had plenty of time. He rushed it.
Jordan Johnson drove in that time, and this is one of the big problems is he drives in with the intent of passing. Now here's the good Jordan Johnson. Tuohy challenges, he just throws it to the rim to Brandon McCoy. And poor Tuohy just in wrong place, wrong time. There really isn't a good choice there. You can bluff and get back. He instead chooses to put his hands up, doesn't close out. But there are times with Jordan Johnson, he drives in there knowing what he's going to do. You have to react to the defense, go to score first, and then when the defense comes. His last turnover was trying to pass too much.
Stadium presenter, pretty good questions. Good one for you, Doug. Do smaller schools get enough love in determining the NCAA tournament?
I hate that question. Do we get enough love? Give me some love.
I would say no. You don't think so?
Of course they do. They get plenty of. Absolutely.
You think enough schools from smaller conferences make it into the NCAA tournament?
What do you consider a smaller, like, do people say, well, there's less mid-majors getting into the tournament than there used to be as at-large teams? The difference is that what schools used to be good mid-majors are now in quasi-high major leagues.
Yes, good three right there. And what a game so far. Caleb Morris has got 3 triples.
I mean, like Wichita used to be a mid-major, right? Now they're
right.
They're
Gonzaga used to be a mid-major.
Gonzaga was a high. Xavier was a mid-major. Creighton
Wichita
was a mid-major.
State, right? So it's all mixed up now.
So, like Conference USA, which we've got a chance to call a bunch of those games here with Stadium and Facebook. That's really the Sun Belt Conference, and so Middle Tennessee gets a ton of love because they've won tournament games. You want love? Win games. But the common misconception is that mid-majors are getting fewer at-large bids. That's not the case. We made mid-major into a bad word, and when I say there's some mid-majors in the Big East Conference, people freak out.
I bet they do.
Mid-major is based upon the size of your athletic budget and who you line up against in recruiting.
Mooring. Deep triple, no. Manning the rebound. Back to a 6-point game, guys. Air Force not going away. Better keep their eye on Caleb Morris. He's been the man off the bench. Jacob Van probing. Finds Morris. And Morris again, there he is. He's got 11, Doug. We may have our X factor for the Falcons.
Well, Morris obviously playing well, but some of this is UNLV's defense. You're so dependent on Brandon McCoy to clean up your mess. Well, Mooring, I think, tried to take a charge in the back end of that one. Didn't get the call.
Timeout, UNLV. As it is a 4-point game. 11:40 to go second half.
There's Mooring in good position. He jumps to the shoulder and good no call. But a lot of that is you got to guard the basketball better than that. We go back and look at that again. So oftentimes we look at the charge, block, and the no call. But if you want to know why Terrell Beck isn't playing as much as he wants to? That's why. Like, you just beat him on one little jab step, and it's almost a straight line drive.
Joe Bradfield predicted a 9-0 run, and Joe, it's an 8-0 run. I mean, Joe knows what's up. What's going on, Kristen?
Well, I thought we'd do, on Facebook here, since we don't have any commercials, we'd love to get everyone involved and do a little trivia. I know everybody likes some trivia.
Everybody likes trivia.
In honor of being here on UNLV's home court, I got a little UNLV trivia for you, okay? Entering this season, UNLV ranked as the 5th winningest program by percentage in NCAA Division I history. Who are the 4 teams above them is the trivia question.
In win percentage?
Yeah, I know the answer.
Yes.
Do you want it, or do you want us to
Let's see
think
what
about it for a
everybody
minute?
says.
Let's let everybody say it.
You think it's
Now,
incredibly
9
obvious?
years of reading that in the notes of UNLV, and I've committed it to memory.
it's a
Here's
great stat.
here's what people have to remember. UNLV was Gonzaga or Memphis when Memphis was in Conference
When they were
USA.
Memphis State.
Right? No, well, I mean, when Memphis had, when John Calipari was at Memphis.
Okay.
And
More
their level
recently.
of dominance. That was UNLV for 20 years in the PCAA and then what became the Big West. Right. It used to be called the PCAA. And before they built this place, they played at the convention center. It was 5,000 seats. It was incredible. And then they had just better players than everybody. And the league was still pretty good. You know, Brian Shaw was at UC Santa Barbara, and Scotty Brooks and Todd Murphy and others were at UC Irvine. Cal State Fullerton and Leon Wood. But UNLV was the dominant program in the PCAA. That was before the WCC was any good, or the Mountain West was in the WAC. And so they were dominant, and that's where those ridiculous numbers came in.
Well, we have an answer. We have several answers, but Anthony Cox is the first person that I saw with it. Kentucky, Kansas, Duke, and North Carolina. Pretty good company.
I mean, it's the Blue Bloods. That's why UNLV, it's a startling stat. You just wouldn't assume they'd be in with that group.
A lot of people were saying UCLA, they are not in it.
Here's a trivia question. How many NCAA tournament games has UNLV won since Jerry Tarkanian left?
1.
You're not supposed to give away the answer.
I was thinking
this
out
is an
loud.
interactive conversation.
McCoy, the two-handed dunk. I was merely guessing, but I think it was 1. Wasn't it when Lon's kid was the point guard that year? Or did they go to the Sweet 16 that year?
That was the year.
Well, then they won 2. Right?
Yeah, but they,
No, I got it
they
wrong.
haven't won a game since.
Okay.
I think they've won 3 games. I think it was all when Lon was here. They won 3 games total. It was 2 one year and 1 another year.
McCoy.
I'll tell you what, Brandon McCoy, who looked asleep to start the second half. Once he blocked a shot, he's been a different player.
There he is. There's the trivia answer.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Good company.
Pretty good company to be in.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. No wonder they've kept that in the stats for 9 years already, as you said.
Yeah.
Well, the challenge, as you see Brandon McCoy, again, Tui jumps up, takes the charge. They essentially thought he flopped, and McCoy ends up the beneficiary of it.
All right, so look, he's got 13 and 6, which are great numbers, but it doesn't feel like he's dominating the game.
I would actually disagree there. If you look, when they made the run to start the second half, he was in the game.
Yeah,
he was a big
catalyst.
He had 1 block shot, bluffed like he almost blocked a shot, had a couple of dunks and finishes around the basket. In the first half, when they had control, he was in the game. I think there are times, look, he stands too flat-footed defensively, so he's not terribly alert. He needs to move better laterally, but again, he's just a 19-year-old freshman that affects the game greatly.
Van, the triple, count it. Jacob Van continues his hot shooting from the regular season finale. Game tied at 52. And Houston's on the bench with 3 fouls. Clyburn, open triple. Nice response.
And that's also Brandon McCoy. Catches it, the double team comes, he's patient. He doesn't have to dribble out, so the double team leaves him. He makes the pass over the top.
And Manning, that's a mistake. Can't have
Stepped
that.
out of bounds.
Yep.
Well, we told you this is an Air Force team that can shoot. Percentage-wise, not a great shooting team, but Jacob Van coming off a 6 3-point shot game. And then Clyburn, who trying to fight his way out of the doghouse, didn't start today.
Johnson, tough shot, no.
That's what you have to do. You have to make him finish. My lunch has arrived.
That's right. Oh, yes.
Now there's
Mooring
Javon Mooring
hits the
again.
three.
Tie game. Who's that man who steps up? Or actually, it's a 3-point game. 2 consecutive threes for the Rebs. Now they have a 6-point lead. Got to dig in and get a stop against this Air Force offense.
Lavelle Scotty's got Mooring on him. They get it to him. And he's fouled. That's good offense right there.
Really smart high-low as they hit Tui, which of course takes McCoy out of the court, out on the court. See Brandon McCoy. That was an extra. Yeah, Brandon McCoy roll into the basket. Excuse me. That was Tervel Beck roll into the basket, which opens up that 3. You know, one of the other things you have when you have a new team and guys just, you got pretty nice kids, is no one's talking. You know, it's 6-point game
out there.
Yeah. Well, Scotty having himself a game.
The more you talk, the better your defense. They go hand in hand. And I'm telling you, there are times you don't hear anybody saying anything.
But this is a problem with a lot of teams in college basketball. Kids just aren't vocal leaders anymore.
Clyburn, nope. But he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Are you surprised Houston's on the bench with 3 fouls and only 8:26 to go?
No, I think you wait until under 8 to go.
Okay.
You know, they still have the lead. I would put him back in, but I think by now Marvin Menzie knows his player.
Clyburn, no good on the first free throw on the season. He struggled there, 54%.
All right, this is just a question. And I know we probably should have handled it in the pre-show meeting, but we have no commercials here on Facebook.
Yep.
Do we have a break in between games?
Yes, we do. We're going off air for a minimum of 24 minutes.
I just wanted to make sure, you know, somebody's on Facebook like.
Look, until I was told that, I was in a panic.
Soho Sushi Burrito just arrived, and I can't think about anything else.
We do have a break, but we hope everyone joins us for the 7 versus the 10.
And I apologize to the rest of the crew. I did not bring enough for the whole class. But we can get more delivered.
More, you know. Oh yeah, I mean they'd be happy to deliver more. That's what they do. Almost a strip. Air Force needs a bucket.
Oh,
there it is. Swan with the triple, and it's back to a 2-point game.
Well, this is how, part of it's how Air Force plays. Part of it, the way to attack UNLV is you gotta lift Brandon McCoy out of that lane. He just struggles to move his feet and guard on the perimeter.
Soft touch.
But that he can do.
Yep. Four-point game. We near the 7-minute mark. Lavelle Scotty going to work on Clyburn. Tough shot, yes. Lavelle Scotty leads the team in scoring, 2nd in blocks, 3rd in rebounds, 3rd in steals.
Tremendous player, tremendous personal story, and what an asset to this Air Force program.
This group of sophomores, they're going to make some noise in the Mountain West next couple of years. Clyburn wants the triple and connects. Chris Clyburn.
I love that from Chris Clyburn, as he played poor post defense, but instead of pouting about it, comes back and makes a play for his team.
I needed some touch on that pass. Timeout on the floor. 6:25 remains. Air Force trails by 5.
Not sure I can make it another 6 minutes, 25 seconds without my sushi burrito. I'm starved.
We can smell it. I can smell the sushi fumes coming from the table.
That's actually my cologne. I wear sushi cologne.
Yeah, it's
raw fish.
Yes.
It's lovely. Yeah, you must be real
rolled
popular
it this morning.
All right, Kristen, what's going on?
Well, you know, Doug is having a lot of fun. People have been asking you a lot of questions specifically about food. You've been asking them some. So we want to formalize it a little bit and give everyone a chance to ask Doug some questions. I'm guessing they're going to be, you know, food related, but I want to start it off with the Ask Doug. Where do you see Brandon McCoy performing at the next level?
What do you mean, where do I see?
In the NBA. How do you see him doing in the NBA? I'll phrase it better next time.
I think he'll be in the G League his first year. Look, he's gifted in that he has good hands. He's a good shot blocker, and he can score in the low post. He's not bad as a turnaround shooter. But remember, the NBA game, you're not posting up. This is what you're doing more of, picking and rolling. You got to be able to roll to the rim. You got to be able to catch and shoot. That's something he's going to have to develop his range. And he's got to be a much more active defender on ball screens. If you're a center in the NBA, he has to play center in the NBA. Your man's going to be setting a ball screen 22 feet from the basket, and you got to be an active participant in that. So I think they're going to revamp his game. But here's the good news. If you go back and look at the centers that have made an impact now in the NBA, Joel Embiid, DeMarcus Cousins before injury, Jokic from the Nuggets. Jokic was a little bit more skilled coming in, but all of these centers, Karl Anthony Towns, when they were in college, they were playing the low post, they were blocking shots, they weren't hitting threes either. So I don't love his feet, but I think he's going to mature and develop. I would guess he plays some up in the NBA, but a lot in the G League. If he leaves next year, mostly in the G League, I think he's got the chance to be a starting caliber player. But it's going to come down to his level of work ethic and desire. Can he develop lateral quickness? Can he develop more intensity? Can he shoot the basketball? Have some feel away from the basket.
McCoy there shows some effort, goes and gets that basketball. As we showed you, we had it posted. Set Mountain West all-time freshman records as Houston misses, but then tips it in points and in rebounds, taking down the rebounding record, Andrew Bogut and Kawhi Leonard.
Patrick asks about the officiating differences between the regular and postseason. I think that the reason you're seeing less fouls called is because of the style of play of Air Force. They're not playing exceptionally physical.
Oh,
that was a foul.
Play. And Houston knew it. He helps him up, but that's 4 on Houston.
That's where a coach knows his player. Shakur Houston doesn't have that governor to which, okay, he wanted to close out on a shooter, which what you're supposed to do. You can't foul. If Shakur Houston just stays in the game, UNLV wins. Now, you're going to have to take him out of the game for at least another minute and a half.
Mark wants to know, is the 1991 UNLV team the best you ever saw, Doug? That's his Ask Doug question.
Best I've ever seen. I would say they were the most dominant. People forget how dominant they were the following year. We remember the loss to Duke. And it was an incredible Duke team, one that end up going to 4 straight Final Fours, winning back-to-back national titles. They were ridiculously dominant. They were so good defensively. I actually, what's crazy is one of the more underrated teams in modern basketball is UCLA '95.
Oh, that team was awesome.
Only lost 1 game.
The O'Bannon brothers, they were awesome.
The problem is beautiful passing.
Oh, yeah. McCoy, easy too.
The problem is that they almost lost to Missouri in the second round. That's when Tyus Edney went length to the floor. And so we think every game was close. Even the UNLV team that won it had a close game to Rick Majerus and Ball State. So was it the best? I would say they were probably the most dominant, yes. If that's best, go for it.
Van, the drive. Oh, almost went in. McCoy picks up the foul.
Jordan Johnson, well, Jordan Johnson, a little flair. You make the pass, then you spin around as soon as you make the dime. Look off the defense, and Air Force gets a little bit too extended.
19 and 8 for McCoy. So Houston with 4, McCoy now with 3.
Kellen asked, do I remember Keon Clark? Of course I remember Keon Clark.
That was the longest guy in the gym.
He used to play pickup basketball at UC Irvine in the offseason.
Have Keon Clark and Stacey Ogman play one-on-one. You have 2 of the longest lefties ever. They're great.
Keenan wants to know, what are the chances McCoy comes back, Doug?
0.
Slim.
Yeah. Slim to none?
0.
Slim. You know,
like
this NBA draft, people talk about the top of the NBA draft has a chance to be really good. But there's a kind of a cliff after you get past like 10. And, you know, look, Brandon McCoy is an upside guy. He'll be drafted.
Patrick wants to know, You were talking about the officiating. He says, regardless of the team, do you think...
Basket and the foul.
Tervel Beck, who's now moved to the power forward after starting the game at the 3. Just right place, right time, kind of Johnny on the spot. Go ahead, what was your question?
Patrick wants to follow up about the officiating. He says, regardless of the team playing, do you think officiating in general is more lax in tourneys than conference?
Usually it's actually tighter because these guys are still being evaluated as to making the NCAA, or at least there's an assumption that they are. I think it's generally a little bit tighter officiated game.
I was just told Ed O'Bannon now makes his home here in Las Vegas.
Of course, yeah.
I was not aware of that.
Charles, too.
Van the triple, yes! And they're right back in it, 5-point game.
This is a lot like both of the previous games against Air Force, where you get out to a lead, Air Force kind of hangs around, makes a run by before half. You get out to a lead, and then they make the lead. They cut it to 1.
Clyburn wants it again. Not this time.
Tui needs to stop posting up, get away from that basket, open up the lane for Air Force. Set screens and pop out.
Wide open look.
And one.
Basket and a chance for 4.
Well, this all set up by the movement of Air Force offensively. First, here's Van. We mentioned Jacob Van, who's had a struggle his senior season. Then Tui flashes to the post. Brandon McCoy helps for some reason, leaving Lavelle Scotty, and Scotty steps into one.
And that was McCoy's 4th personal. If this game were to go to overtime, you could potentially have UNLV without Houston and McCoy.
UNLV fans are turning coal into
something to keep an eye on as the game goes forward, something that we do here exclusively on Facebook, is we let everyone watching help us decide who the Facebook player of the game is. It's obviously too close to call right now. You know, McCoy and Scotty have the stats, but something to keep an eye on as the game goes on. We'll decide that later, but we want to hear from everyone on Facebook. We want to hear what they think. I mean, Jordan Johnson had 10 assists on some really big plays. You know, maybe it's him. Who knows?
Well, let's see what happens the last 3:41 of this game. All right, so again, having watched both of the previous Air Force UNLV games, these are snapshots of it.
Oh, yeah.
And in both of the games, this was the time which Javon Mooring took over and made big shots. Be fascinating to see what happens. I would put Shakur Houston back in the game at least. You're going to be on offense here. Put him in the game, try and get a bucket, and actually that's exactly what they're going to do. Try and get a quick bucket. And anytime you have a chance to take him out on defense, take him out on defense. It's a cute kid.
Coming up next, game number 2 of our triple header on Facebook. Number 7, Utah State tips off against number 10, Colorado State. That game is coming up next at 4:30 Eastern, exclusively on Facebook. So we had a question I thought was a pretty good one. Do you have a sleeper in this tournament?
Which tournament?
This tournament, Mountain West tournament. Somebody we haven't talked about.
Yeah, man, I think San Diego State's a sleeper. I think Wyoming's a sleeper. I think Wyoming's good. I mean, you go two through 5. You know, they occasionally lack scoring from the point guard position, but they got guys that can make shots.
We see them later today in our last game of the day. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Those fans are excited. They're here early.
James and Dalton are fun to watch, and their fans will be here in droves. They had the band and the whole.
Well, the women's team plays tonight after the men's games are over. So you got the Pokes, and then you get the Cowgirls.
1-point game, 3.5 minutes to go. Running Rebels trying to put a halt to their 5-game losing streak and keep their season alive.
They're trying to get a touch for Brandon McCoy inside. Tui's doing a great job of establishing low post position.
Mooring fouled on the 3-point attempt by Jacob Van.
Jacob Van, not a great defender, and he makes the ill-fated decision. This is one of those, you can just fake it. He goes over the screen, he gets too close, And Mooring, who anytime he shoots, he turns that right side of his body in, gets hit in the wrist, flops a little bit, gets the call.
81% from the line on the season, leaves the first one short.
I believe that would be the classic announcer jinx.
Yes, I concur.
And he's a great free throw shooter. He never misses short.
Honorable mention, all Mountain West this year. Now it's on me, 0 for 2. One more.
Say something nice about his family, too. Now he missed number 3.
He's a great, tough Chicago kid. This is the moment. There you go. Got to go 1 for 3.
Oh, my gosh.
For 3. Wow. A chance for Air Force to take the lead.
They smartly take McCoy out of the game for a substitution. And what great position by Tui. Tui posts up.
And it's the double bonus, Doug, so 2 free throws for Tui.
Yeah,
and how about this little nugget for the two of you? Air Force has never led.
Yeah.
And here we are. Chance to take
Watch
the
Tui.
lead.
Tui just gets leverage, position, holds his body.
Yep.
And Dion gets called for the foul, simply trying to fight over the top.
And now he misses a free throw. It's contagious.
Another announcer jinx.
Houston back in the game, 2:56 to go. He's got 4. All right. Game tied at 71.
Rank the tank.
Mooring can't get the shot off. It's Houston. Good decision to get him back in the game. Houston's got a dozen.
And after your Air Force, just run your offense.
Van. Yes, a long 2. Tied at 73. If this is any sign of what we've got in store for the rest of the day, we're in for a great day. Mooring. No. And they're going to get out and run. Oh, and LaVelle Scotty didn't sense the defender. Great hustle. Chris Clyburn. Under 2 minutes. The bounce to Houston for the dunk. High percentage attempt there for Shakur Houston. Van. No, it's Tui fighting. Can't get it to go.
Got to make that. I would go to the same screen roll action with Shakur Houston on the side and put Brandon McCoy on the opposite side, which is exactly what they're going to do. Because Tui just simply cannot react in time.
Falcons come up with it. They will not go away. And timeout. Falcons down to 51.8 seconds remain.
UNLV with a huge turnover. A huge turnover, and then the steal from Chris Clyburn. Remember, 73 all game. Keep an eye on Brandon McCoy because he posts up for just a second. That gets the attention of Frank Tui. Tui plays post defense. He's got to slide over. He doesn't. They get 2 points, and then Tui misses a layup at the other end.
All right, we're getting the comments in that start fouling because UNLV can't make free throws. As a team, they shoot at 70%. Clearly, you don't want Houston to have to go to the free throw line.
Well, we called the Northern Colorado game. He made some down the stretch there.
Yeah, he did.
It doesn't look terrible.
No, it doesn't.
Look, the big thing is, look, you have 51.8 seconds. So if it's me, I want to go right away. You want to shoot the basketball with 40, at most 40 seconds
Then you
on the
get a
clock.
2 for 1,
So
right?
you get a 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Additionally, if you miss and you don't want 2 for 1, and Houston gets the ball, you can foul. By the way, Houston probably shouldn't be in the game here. 4 personal fouls. Switch, put a defensive lineup in.
Well, Houston and McCoy playing with 4. Do you attack them and try to get to the free throw line? Or do you figure they're going to, play no defense and let you score?
Well, McCoy, you need to use McCoy's man. If he's guarding Tui, get him away from the basket or have him screen and pop. Because McCoy's just not comfortable playing defense in the perimeter. And he has 4 personal fouls. This is called, it's part of the old Princeton offense, called elbow.
Man, the drive. He's stuck, needs help, and they turn it over. Now, they don't necessarily have to foul here. There's a 6.8 second differential between game clock and shot clock. What are you thinking?
Well, first, just a great play by Brandon McCoy. He was big, but he didn't leave his feet, and that caused to turn it over. They're going to obviously lengthen the game.
All right, that's only team foul number 6. So
But
no
then once you committed to fouling, now you got to, because now there's only 35 seconds to go. So if you were going to play it out and get the ball back with 6 seconds to go, now you got to foul. But now you want Shakur Houston to catch the ball. Deny Johnson the ball. Do not let him catch it. They should be letting 10 catch the basketball and then fouling.
Well, Houston's got it. You got all, they don't foul. I mean, then you foul Johnson.
Scotty, you got to foul. That's the guy you want to foul.
Yep. All right, so Johnson to shoot the 1-on-1.
Air Force should be kicking themselves. Lavelle Scotty turns it over in transition, gets tracked down from behind. Frank Tui misses a layup. And Van turns the basketball over. Those are their 3 possessions that have them down 3 instead of leading in this game.
Only 1 for 2. Loose ball. Down 3. Oh, that's got to be a goaltend. The ball had already hit off the backboard. It's got to be a goaltend. Well, they got to take another look. I mean, at first glance, yeah, there it is.
They cannot take another look. That's part of it, is you can't go to the monitor for it. I actually don't think it's a goaltend, and I'll tell you why. Let's see if it's on the cylinder, because he blocked it before it hit the backboard.
And then he hit it again.
That's goaltend.
Yeah.
Hitting it again wouldn't have been a problem had it not been on the cylinder. They had to determine whether or not the ball had a chance to go in.
All right,
that was
Tui.
what the discussion was on.
He was 1 for 2 the last trip. A chance to tie it. Wow, that's clutch.
Frank the Tank.
He'll have just 1. Here we go. Game deadlocked at 76.
This should be Shakur Houston and Johnson to pick and roll.
Mooring. The 3 to win it. Short. We're going to overtime. Extra basketball in the opening game of the 2018 Mountain West Men's Basketball Tournament.
How about this for Frank Tui in what would likely be his last basketball game ever with, outside of a men's league. Like this is the type of stuff you only get at Air Force. As you see Air Force defending Javon Mooring, you knew he was going to take and make the big shot, and then Shakur Houston probably gets away with a push off, but it's all hands on deck. But Frank Tui, who's battling against bigger, more athletic, the length of UNLV and Brandon McCoy, gets the N1 after missing that key layup. Made some shots. Academic all Mountain West. He majors in aeronautical engineering. He was a small arms instructor during survival training last summer. He was in the Academy's power flight program. He actually, you go back a couple of summers ago and he flew with a C-17 squadron. 3 years ago, he flew a TG 16A glider. I have no idea what the hell that is.
I have no idea.
But it sounds amazing.
It sounds awesome.
Squadron 40 represent Frank Tui. He's your ringer for Air Force basketball games the rest of his career.
And, you know, I think you're handling it really gracefully, that, you know, that your sushi burrito is right
cool.
here.
Hey, if we got a close game, I'm cool with my
cool
sushi
with
burrito. Wait.
It's just waiting. Yeah.
Soho Sushi Burrito getting a big shout out here on Facebook.
So, Kristen, you're back. How we doing?
I'm back. I was in my crouch ready to get out there and interview whichever coach was going to come out victorious, but I'm back now for overtime. I'm feeling good. The fans on Facebook are going crazy. You can see the numbers climbing. You can see the comments coming in even more. We're ready to do it.
I did send an email off, and I want you guys to know there is no time and a half for overtime, so we don't have to be excited.
I'm just worried about that sushi burrito that Ari mentioned, because I don't think that keeps well.
Oh,
you know?
It's fine. No, it's fine.
It'll be fine.
It's fine.
First overtime for Air Force.
I mean, we're ordering sushi in a landlocked state, so.
Yeah. UNLV 1-3 in overtime games this year. Again, Houston and McCoy are playing with 4 each. See if they attack. Lavelle Scotty going to work on Houston.
Look, now when you have Brandon McCoy out of the lane, that's when you want to attack the basket.
The bounce pass, and it's Lyons. Basket and the foul. Trevor Lyons.
And that's one of the rules of Princeton-style offense. They don't want pure Princeton, but watch Lyons. The last of the Lyons clan to play for the Air Force Academy. A back cut. When he dribbles at you, I automatically back cut, catch, and finish.
And how about this, Doug? His first points of the game. Converts the three-point play. The only player to start every game for Dave Pilipovich, scoreless in regulation, and starts the overtime with the three-point play.
And the first lead for the Air Force Academy. Right? This is the first lead they've had, isn't it?
Yes. And here comes Lyons. Trying to add to their first lead. Blocked. Scotty's there. Blocked again by McCoy. And then a steal by Air Force. Oh, here we go. 2-on-1. And Lavelle Scotty leaves it short because Houston's there. Johnson wants the three. Tie game. Wow. Woo. 79-79. Van the drive, no defense. Easy two.
UNLV looks tired defensively.
They do. Some fatigue is a factor.
Adam said, didn't these teams go to triple overtime a couple years ago?
They did.
Yes, they did.
You know who's not tired? That guy, Shakur Houston.
Basket in the foul.
Shakur Houston's so good. Block shot, and then Brandon McCoy, get that out of here. And then Jordan Johnson, who has turned the ball over a lot here late in the game, calmly knocks down the three-point shot.
And Jordan Johnson has a double-double, 10 points, 11 assists.
And Shakur Houston stepping in and making the big free throw.
Look like an 80% free throw shooter. UNLV up by 1.
They are huffing and puffing. If you're Air Force, run your offense, cycle it through, get that ball moving. UNLV likes to guard the first side, but they don't guard the second, third side of the defense well.
Oh, the bounce pass. Looking for Lavelle Scotty. It's a turnover.
This is one Lavelle Scotty in overtime so far he's going to want to forget. Got one shot blocked, missed a layup, and then I think if he cut hard, he could have gotten that basketball.
Does Air Force depth and the kind of training they do all year round, is that an asset here in overtime?
Of course, and they train in altitude.
In the last overtime game in the tournament, UNLV defeated Air Force in 2016. Shot up, no good. McCoy gets the rebound.
Frank Tui, bless his heart, he's in there battling Brandon McCoy. And he gets called for a foul for boxing out, being a little too aggressive. McCoy has been really, really good.
He needs to be good right here because this is the last 1-on-1. Tui now has 4 personals. This will be the final 1-on-1 of the night for either team. Wasn't pretty, but it works. A little bit flat. McCoy, 17 double-double this season. Got 20 and 10, make it 21 and 10. Starting to make a pretty compelling case for the Facebook player of the game with 21 and 10. Lions before the shot. Double bonus, he'll shoot 2 free throws. Jordan Johnson picks up the foul, just his first.
Well, we mentioned Lions having not scored until the 3-point play here to start overtime. It's one of those things to where if you haven't gotten shots up, it's hard no matter how good a free throw shooter you are to make him. He made his first. Didn't shoot that poorly. You miss around and out, not shooting poorly. I just think your Air Force just keep this thing in the half court defensively. UNLV is tired. You can stretch them out offensively.
0 for 2, and underneath there's going to be a foul, and they're going to get Tui, and his day is done. Boy, he battled. Give Frank Tui a lot of credit. He fouls out with 11 points, couple of rebounds.
Frank Tui just working. There was no malice intended there as he just kind of slipped and fell down. Frank Tui, whenever this season ends, will get back to defending our country. And if he does his job with the Air Force as hard and as focused as he does his job on the basketball floor, I think we're in good shape.
Real good shape. So McCoy now to shoot 2 in the double bonus. McCoy in the game from the free throw line, 3 for 5. It's nice when you got a guy that big as a freshman who can shoot free throws.
Yep. And people ask, well, will he be able to translate to the NBA? I think NBA people say you're not going to have to change his form as a shooter. It's going to be about stretching his range, and that's going to be about work ethic.
5-point lead for UNLV.
Well, now your danger time for your Air Force. Get into your offense, cycle through it.
Van, the drive, and that's blocked by McCoy. And Johnson, smart play, finds Houston for the throwdown. And the lead is 7 for the running Rebels. And Pilipovich is hot over there.
I'm not sure if he thinks that's a goaltend. That's not a goaltend. That's just a great block. And then Shakur Houston finishes. How good has that guy been?
9-0 run for the running Rebels.
I don't think that was a goaltender.
I don't either.
Tell you what, the UNLV fans are coming out of the woodwork on Facebook right now.
It's been
pretty even, you know, I would say, in terms of, but I'm seeing a lot of just like that from Debbie. Let's go, baby. Go, Rebels.
Let's see. He's got to touch the ball before the backboard. Now, he pinned it. I don't think that's a goaltender. And Brandon McCoy has been really good defending the rim. He struggles defending out in the perimeter, but at the rim, this is the kind of thing that's going to get him paid for years to come.
And we talked about his body language opening minutes of the second half. Since then, he has been engaged.
It's really close.
That is very close. Not much time for the Falcons. Van airballs the 3. And now we come to just 90 seconds to go. Jordan Johnson content to work the shot clock. And UNLV wants and gets a timeout. Just a minute, 19 seconds to go. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Want to remind everybody our next game is the number 7 seed Utah State taking on the number 10 seed Colorado State. That is coming up next on Facebook. There will be a break in between games so that we can get Doug a meal. I'm going to join him. Oh, we're going Facebook player of the game. A bit of a surprise.
Jordan Johnson.
Jordan Johnson, the double-double. 10 points, 12 assists.
Honestly, I would have given it to McCoy.
I would have too.
But he is the one-shot creator.
Yeah.
He did step in and make a huge three. Huge three. Scoring just enough to keep Giannis, making just enough defensive plays to make Air Force pay.
And Johnson also had 6 rebounds.
I don't care about guard rebounding. You shouldn't be rebounding if you're a guard. Not your job.
All right, so there we go. 10 and 12, the other one got 23 and 11. We could agree to disagree. Either way, UNLV is going to survive this. Now my next question. Let's
well,
fast
you think
forward.
they're going to survive this? 1:18 to go now.
Okay. Then I'm not going to move to my next question.
Okay, now you can go.
They going to have enough juice in the tank for #1 Nevada tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a basketball. Like in Vegas, most of these guys you grow up as juice to Mrs. Fruit. AAU basketball. This is the wellspring for all of AAU basketball. It used to be the North and South gyms where they used to practice before they built the practice facility. I mean, you play 2 or 3 in a day.
Sure.
You lose, you go play at El Dorado in the auxiliary gym. So yeah, it's once you get to like 4 in 4 days, now the gas light's on.
Fight for it. Manny's got to get up the 3. He's bumped, and it'll be 2 shots.
But I mean, look, they were extended a lot more, and they did tire down the stretch, I thought, in guarding Air Force.
And you know that tempo the Wolfpack play with. They'll be going hard.
Pack are good, man. I like that team.
Yeah, and it's an early game tomorrow, too, so it's not a lot of rest. Manning too strong on the first one.
I love the idea. I remember when Steve Fisher was the coach of San Diego State, he would always talk about, UNLV, it's unfair for them to play in their home arena. Like, God bless Coach Fisher, did an amazing job at San Diego State, but remember the tickets aren't dispersed that way. It's more of a New Mexico home game when they play here than anything else.
Joe Tate said, if you want to know about UNLV basketball during the 2017-18 campaign, this game is it.
It's good call.
Yeah, way to go, Joe.
It is frustrating and exhilarating all at the same time.
Yes. Still an 8-point game. And Mooring will make his way to the free throw line. Mooring, 12 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 of 8 from the free throw line. And now they'll bring Justin back in for defense, keep him off the floor. They do not want him to go to the free throw line.
Yes, yeah, that would be one thing that I want Justin to be on the free throw line.
Right.
I want him to
gotta learn how to make those,
watching
right?
the ball go through the net. You're up 10 now. Well,
No basket.
But that's just not a smart foul. The clock is your friend.
Exactly 1 minute to go in overtime.
John says, heck of an effort by Air Force. I agree, but they'll be flying home to Colorado Springs thinking about getting tracked down. Well, Scotty getting tracked down by Chris Clyburn.
But maybe if he had a team that talked more and someone was yelling.
Yeah, so where'd you grow up?
Madison, Wisconsin.
All right, when somebody was tracking you down, what did you yell?
I would yell, behind, behind, behind.
Yeah, look out behind you. Midwest, Southeast, Southwest, you yell wolf.
Wolf, okay, okay. Well, with my last name being Wolf, that might have been confusing.
They'd be like, what?
What do you want? What do you want?
What? No, wolf meaning somebody's tracking you down.
Okay.
And yes, being in Vegas, I am very well aware that the number I believe was 9.5, which seemed like a ridiculously high number.
Yes.
Elvis had himself a night last night. Like,
yeah, it was tough.
Like on.
Nothing like a Tuesday night. Mooring hits another free throw.
If you go to overtime with Air Force and you cover,
yeah,
and you hit the over, that's quite a night.
I like Matt's comment. Yep, OT game and play Nevada in less than 24 hours equals no fun. Matt Juice in the rebound, and they don't foul, and the line may stay right there at 9. Uh-oh. Oh!
You know what? That's karma. You don't dunk in that situation.
And now Air Force is going to cover if they could just find a way to get it in.
Look, I wouldn't. It's 45 seconds to go. You're not supposed to dunk in that situation. So this is why you don't bet on sports.
Exactly.
I know I'm in Las Vegas and everybody bets on sports and they come to Las Vegas. And I've never been here on a first Thursday or Friday of the NCAA tournament, but I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's a 9.5-point line, right?
Right.
They're up. What were they up?
They were up 9, and he went for the dunk.
He goes for the dunk, misses it. Air Force comes down, misses like 3 point-blank range layups, and then calls timeout, meaning they're going to press here, and they might foul again, putting the number very much in question.
Yes. My other employer, we very much frowned upon discussing sports gambling, but I'm just playing along.
It's crazy.
Yeah, where is Brent Musburger when you need him? He probably set the line.
Doug says need those 2 points. Imagine being down the street at one of the casinos, you're just dying.
You're like, oh, here comes the dunk. I got it.
I got it. They don't got it. Well, if they're going to press, you can go ahead and dunk at will. It's if they let you dribble it out. And Dave Filipovich had said no fouls before, but now apparently changed his mind.
I kind of like the idea of fouling Beck. I mean, he's a true freshman, shoots 61% from the line.
No Pit West here. This is our house, Jerry Tarkanian Court. I mean, there's a smattering of UNLV fans. I'm a huge fan of UNLV basketball historically, but let's not go crazy about this being Tark's house. This ain't the old Shark Tank of old. Well, now it's in question again.
It is.
I mean, this is this is why you can't do it. You know?
So Mooring back to the free throw line. He's now 8 for 12 from the free throw line, 15 points in the game. Overcame a tough shooting day from the field. Just 3 for 10 and 1 for 6 from beyond the arc. He's earned the nickname Falcon Killer, but really it's been more from the free throw line than anything else.
Well, he had 31 when they beat Nevada. So it's a matchup that I'm sure he's looking forward to.
Gets them both. The lead is back to 9. And Lavelle Scotty gets the easy dunk.
And there goes foul again. So when I was at Oklahoma State, we played here 2 years in a row. We beat UNLV 2 years in a row. Played in the Desert Classic 1 year. The first year I think was a payback for a home and home. I actually think both years was called the Desert Classic. But I remember we got off the plane and we were all of age. And my head coach Eddie Sutton said, now listen, I can't tell you guys are of age whether or not you can gamble or not gamble. But you do know that they don't build all these tall, beautiful casinos because the house is losing money.
Oh, it's great. 2 for 2. Back to fresh. Yeah, I know.
That's Eddie Sutton. You need to run like the devil was after you. Well, could be a big foul here. Oh, the game is over. They make the layup. It's not in doubt. Now you have Shakur Houston, terrible free throw shooter at the line.
49% on the
49%. And see, you got your ticket in your hand?
Yes. Am I going to the window? Am I not going to the window?
Is it Al Michaels or was it Brent Musburger say these points are important to some people?
Well, Al Michaels has said it a few times, but Brent has said it more often.
Well, the big thing when Brent, it was always who's Brent have.
Right.
I would love to know. Maybe I text Brent. Oh, and it goes.
The lead is 10, but there's still 14 seconds.
Get one up.
Oh, and the three is good. And UNLV's not going to score it. And Air Force covers, but UNLV moves on. 97-90 in overtime. The Running Rebels advance to take on the top-seeded Nevada Wolfpack.
Can't say enough about these young men that represent our country for the Air Force Academy and how they fought, scratched and clawed to get back in this game, force overtime. They had opportunities to win this game. They're going to go home to Colorado Springs thinking this is opportunity lost. But for the Running Rebels, hope springs eternal. They had lost 5 in a row. They nearly lost this one. But they get Nevada, their arch rival, on their home floor. Wow.
All right,
another shot tomorrow.
Let's go to Kristen with Coach.
Coach, congratulations. You told me that they came to battle in the first half, and it was quite the battle there all the way into overtime. You know, you had a tough stretch coming into this game, but you come back and battle back in overtime. What does that say about this team?
It says that we shouldn't have been in overtime. But it says more about their team and what they did to get to overtime. And their never quit attitude. I'm proud of my guys, but I'm proud of their guys too. They are, I tell you, they give people fits all year long. And after tough loss, they continue to come out and give it their all. So they're a testament to our nation as well as their university.
And I saw you over there before you got to the camera giving love to Trevor Lyons and a couple of their seniors.
Yeah, they've got, you know, I'm happy to see him go. You know, but I'm sad for him to see him leave, you know, because he's such a competitor and a great kid. But, you know, enough about them. Our guys won, so no, we're happy. We're happy that we got it done. But it's a short-lived, you know, celebration. We got to get ready for the next one.
I want to talk to you about a couple of guys. Brendan McQuay played so well down the stretch, and we named Jordan Johnson our Facebook Player of the Game for all he did. What can you say about those two guys?
Well, they played well together tonight. I think there were some opportunities where they missed, you know, some inside feeds. But Jordy, you know, he played so many minutes as he's done all year long and had a couple late turnovers with the fatigue. But, you know, it's his senior year, and he's got to fight just like everybody else.
Well, Coach, as you said, you got a quick turnaround, so we'll let you go. Congratulations on the win. All right, Ari, Doug, back to you guys.
All right, thank you. Congratulations, Coach Menzies. You get a third meeting with your arch rival. There's the updated bracket. See, it'll be number 1 versus number 8. We know 4 and 5. Our next game, Utah State, Colorado State. The winner will play Boise State. And then our nightcap, Wyoming, San Jose State. The winner of that will play New Mexico. What'd you learn in this first one, Doug?
Look, I thought Brandon McCoy really showed some fight at the rim, competed at the rim defensively for the Rebs. I still think they need to find Shakur Houston, but UNLV finds a way to survive, and I'm sure these kids are going to be motivated to take on the Pack tomorrow on their home floor.
All right, good stuff. We are just 1/3 of the way through our day. For my broadcast partners, Doug Gottlieb and Kristen Balboni, I'm Ari Wolfsing. So long. We'll see you in about a half hour. Final score, 97-90 in overtime. UNLV wins. For more live games, replays of classic games, and daily original studio programming, visit watchstadium.com or search Stadium in your local channel guide. All right, folks, we'll talk to you in 30 minutes. Thanks.